1008 TVU Sports. We are back in the building for another edition of the Top 5. And today I am honored and pleasure to be here with a little bit of a historian when it comes to the Top 5. And I'm here to say that we didn't create the Top 5. Stephen George created the Top 5 when? In
2009, we started the Top 5, and it was basically a fun thing between the coaches. Back then, we didn't have all the Facebook and all the YouTube stuff. We just text. So we used to joke around, and I used to send out the Top 5 and novice, Top 5 and freshmen, Top 5 in all age groups. And it was just between certain coaches like Derek, Johnny, Ernest, and Boosie, you know, all my boys.
Let me ask you this. I ain't mean to be rude.
That's all right.
What do you see the elevation of Top 5 when you was doing it through text message to where it is now?
Man, it's a pleasure to be here with you, what you're doing, and I appreciate what you're doing, and I enjoy what you're doing.
Thank you.
Oh man, and you have taken Top 5 to a whole nother level, and we're gonna take it even further. We got something in store for everybody.
Yeah,
because we going on another level. We ain't gonna mention it right now. We ain't gonna say that. We're gonna just keep it as a surprise right now.
Stephen George, the innovator of the Top 5, is here to join me for probably the most, what's the good word I can use for this particular Top 5 at 11 and 12? Now, give me a good word.
I would say a controversial Top 5.
That's the word I want to use.
Controversial, because there's a lot of controversy within this Top 5, especially when you get closer and closer to number 1.
Yeah.
And number 2 and number 3. From 3 on up,
It's going to be something.
Yeah.
You ready to dive right in?
Let's just go right into it and see what we got.
The number 5 team in 11 and 12 division.
And I brought some props with me today.
I see you. Making an entry. The Willie Hall Panthers coming in at number 5. Mr. George, what do you know about this Willie Hall Panthers team led by Coach B?
Well, when I look at the Top 5 or look at any team, I look at the coaching first.
Okay.
And if you got a good coaching staff and you got a good feeder system, you got to look at where they come from and where they came from. A good 9 or 10 coach.
That was in the championship.
Johnny White.
Yeah, Johnny White, yep.
So you expect them to be in the Top 5.
And they have this quarterback. His name is Timothy Wynn. He's a phenomenal, he's a tall kid, he can throw the ball, he can run the ball. He's a real leader to the squad at Willie Hall.
So he's a dual threat quarterback.
He's a dual threat quarterback, and he's a monster on defense. They played Joe Brown Saturday, and they beat Joe Brown 22-6 on this kid's back.
And I got a chance to see him in Noah Jamboree, the first official Jamboree.
And what did you get on?
And I gathered that Willie Hall gonna make a run in the Top 5 all year. I think they're gonna be a mainstay, and they're gonna be in the playoffs when the time comes.
And they playing in the Hall division over there in the East.
Oh, yeah.
So Willie Hall, new entry at number 5. Let's move right along to the number 14. Last week, this team was ranked number 5, so they moved up a notch. So I'm talking about no other than the Red Nation.
The Red Nation.
The Norman Wildcats.
And the reason I
was just gonna ask you, why Norman not on their shirt?
Because Norman don't have no identity yet. So
Norman State not the identity?
Norman State got to get some identity. They want to be the bully, but they got to prove that they're the bully by beating somebody worthy. And they haven't played nobody worthy. We're going to see when they get to the upper echelon teams, because they're playing some cross-rival games. They're playing some cross-district games.
Yeah, right.
Before the playoffs, because there's 2 districts.
East and
East and West. There's no Division 2 this year.
Right.
Everybody wanted to play up. So we just made one division. Got 6 teams in this division, 7 teams in this division.
But let me ask you this. When you talk about Norman, the same thing said about Willie Hall, where he come from. At 9 and 10, Norman was a championship-based team in 2016. Now all these boys 12 from the championship team. So how do you see that team moving forward with the core guys that they have?
This team is kind of similar to our next group we're going to talk about. We're not going to get too much into it. But this team came from that other part. We're not going to talk about where they came from. But they've been together.
Right.
They've been together since 5 and 6.
Yes.
7 and 8.
Yes.
They came over to Norman, which they call Norman State now.
Norman State.
And they've been together, and now they went 9 and 10. Now they're 11 and 12, so they're more mature.
Right.
And don't they have this fellow called T.
Baby T is on that team.
Baby T.
But I'm fascinated by another guy on that team, Matthias Lee.
Okay.
He went for 3 touchdowns and he threw a touchdown, and they season opened the game against Rosenwald. So Matthias Lee, number 1, the running back.
Right.
He's gotten so much bigger than Baby T. Because Baby T didn't never sprout shit. He never hit his growth spurt, I'm guessing.
Right.
But Matthias Lee has become the new face of that team.
And I heard he had a growth spurt.
Yes. Matthias Lee, he looked amazing to be a nice 12-year-old football player, especially at the running back spot.
And the coach, I saw him out there at punch train on Saturday. He was doing his homework.
T do his work. Like T is one of the coaches that don't speak much, but he did say he was the bullets. And that's the most I think I've ever heard him talk.
I saw that. And that's what made me say, prove that you're the bullet. And when you prove that you're the bullet, we're going to put Norman State, the bully, on the shirt.
Norman State, the
We're going to get a special made shirt.
for the bullet, right on.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the number 3 team.
Now,
This team didn't play last week, so we got a number 3 coach.
got the Samson Knights.
The Samson Knights.
And I got a lot to say about this.
Let's
Samson
start.
Knight team.
You got the floor. Talk to me about what
This
you know about
Samson
Samson.
Knight team, coached by Coach Nick Thomas
Nick Thomas.
and Hubert Calise.
Right on.
These guys been together as long as the kids been together at Samson Park since 7 and 8.
7 and 8, yes.
7 and 8. They played 2 years 7 and 8 together,
Mm-hmm.
2 years 9 and 10 together, and 1 year 11 and 12.
It's their second year, 11-12 right here.
Every year I've been hearing Nick say championship, and that's always a goal a coach should have.
Right.
Championship, but he always falls short. When he fell short last year in the Division II championship,
Right.
to Lion Center,
A much better team than him at that time.
he fell way short.
But it was a much better team. That team was 12-year-old stacked, and Nick,
Ah.
he had 11-year-old heavy team at that time.
But he had better chemistry of a team. The chemistry of that team should be tight because they've been together since 7 and 8.
So I really think, in my opinion, that this is the year that if Nick don't win, then we could bring out the fishing poles for Nick to send him fishing. But if Nick don't win this year, then like you said,
they
they
gotta
have
hang up
something
his
in.
coaching call.
Yeah, they're gonna ask for
You'll
it.
have to
Nick.
hang it up, Nick.
Go ask for it,
I
Nick.
got faith in you. I hope you make a run. I think you can make a run. Put people in the right position, and you'll do it. You're gonna upset some people. You're gonna surprise some people. Just keep you calm. Can I be real in this show?
You got to be real. in
I
this
got to
show.
be real.
It's got to be
Because it's
real.
about to get real right now with this
Okay.
top 3.
With this, that's number 3, Samson.
That's number 3.
Yes.
I want Hubert and Nick to control themselves and coach. You hear me? Coach. I'm not telling you how to coach. Coach. Don't worry about the referees. Don't worry about the fans. Worry about those kids. And you'll do all right with this team. Because you got talent.
Before we get into number 2, you brought up an interesting point about the referees.
Yeah.
Before we get into number 2, let's kind of talk about some referee game day issues that occurred when the number 1 and number 2 teams played.
First of all, the referees, you want to talk about this particular game?
No, we want to
Talk about
the
referees in general?
rules. Yes, the rules. Let's do the rules for a second.
Let's do one of the main rules that I think is everybody misinterpreted.
Which one is that to you?
The overweight player.
That's the rule. We need to talk about that one.
Let's
Can you
talk about
please
it.
explain that rule to a T for our viewing audience?
I'm gonna explain it and break it down as best I can, as I did the other day. Overweight players can only play within the tackle box.
Okay.
The tackle box is defined by the offensive tackle,
Right.
which means you got a tackle here, right tackle, or left tackle. The defensive man can only play on the outside shoulder of that offensive tackle if he's the defensive tackle.
Okay.
So that means the furthest he can go is outside shoulder of the offensive tackle.
Lining up.
Lining up.
Okay.
Okay. He has to start there, and he cannot go outside. Outside, that's outside linebacker. That's illegal formation. He has to be within
Before the
tackle
snap.
box. Before the snap.
Now, walk me through after the ball is snapped.
After the go ahead.
Can he drive back to safety or linebacker outside to the defensive end after the ball is snapped?
The rule states the overweight players must play within the tackle box. That's a tricky word, play.
Play.
Play, that's what the rule says. It should say originate.
Originate.
Because
That's a different word.
if you're saying play,
They
that
can't make a
means
tackle on the end.
they can't go past the tackle if the quarterback scramble that way,
They
they
can't
gotta stay in
chase.
the tackle box. They gotta be
Right.
like robots.
Right,
No,
right.
we're not saying that. We're not limiting where they go. What it says is they have to originate there, and where they go after the ball is snapped, they could go to the moon and back, as long as they originate within the tackle box.
So
They could go sideways, they could go that way, they could go backwards. The only thing is, if they pick up a fumble, catch an intercept,
can't advance.
can't advance, the ball is dead at that point.
All right, let me ask this, because this is another thing pertaining to the weight rule. If a player weighs in and he's coming overweight, what happens to that player the following week?
If he's overweight, his coach can say, I want to have him weighed again.
His coach, not
His
the
coach,
opposing
Not the
coach.
opposing coach. The opposing coach cannot say, I want Courtney Hogan weighed because I think he's overweight.
Right.
But if I'm Courtney Hogan's coach, Courtney was overweight last week, Mr. Official, I want to have him weighed because I think he made the weight this week.
Okay.
So I can have him weighed. If he makes the weight, he's good.
So if he makes the weight week 2,
Right.
he don't have to wear him again to
So-
playoffs.
There's only 2 times you weigh in. The beginning of the season or the
Right.
beginning of the playoffs.
Right.
And the only other time you weigh in is your coach wants you to weigh in to see if you make the weight.
Let me ask this. When does an opposing coach, or does an opposing coach get to actually have a kid weigh in? Can an opposing coach ask for a weigh in on another kid? At
Opposing
any-
coach cannot ask for another kid to be weighed in. And I think the misconception a lot of coaches have on all rules, they don't read them.
Okay.
They're not reading the rules. Read the rule, coaches. Read the rules. And don't try to officiate the game. Coach the game, but you need to know the rules.
You want to go on to number 2 right now?
I think we need to go, because what I just said pertains to
Number 2.
Number
and
two.
Number
And
2.
like I said, I'm being real. Coach. Coach the game, know the rules, but don't officiate the game. Because you drop down from number 1 to number 2, the McHugh Eagles. I know this is a McHugh basketball shirt, but
It's
it's
a
all they
McHugh
gave.
shirt, yeah.
It's a McHugh
Yeah,
shirt.
you said, I ain't get my McHugh
Man, I got a
shirt.
shirt from every part. You see, I can't.
I see.
I'm representing you.
Yeah.
You told me to come.
Yeah,
on the
you
show,
came ready.
so I came with you.
Right on.
I
Right
came
down.
with
Right
back down.
down.
But the McHugh Eagles. I had another prop from McHugh, because McHugh showed me some love.
That's the downtown district, right?
Yeah.
And you should have been happy about the championship that the 8-year-old team won last year for Q.
Oh yeah, Ed, I was happy for Ed.
Let's talk about the 11, 12-year-old McHugh team.
Okay.
They feel like, and their fan base feel like, they was robbed of their number 1 spot, and they was robbed of a game that they played Saturday. From your point of view, from your standpoint, break that game down to me from how you saw it.
I'm gonna keep it real.
You gotta keep it
This is
real.
a real show.
Yes.
And I'm gonna keep it real. I got there in the first quarter after the game had started, 0-0. So
0-0.
I felt like I got there at the right time. The score was still 0-0. Nobody was really doing any serious penetration, but they had a lot of serious fussing on every little call that they had. Every call.
When you say fussing, you mean that the coaches,
On
the
both
players.
sides. Coaches on both sides just doing more of this than doing more of that to their team.
Okay,
And it took away from the game.
right.
It did. You know, and I'm gonna take this off for right now because I was disappointed in McHugh coaches. And I told him that. And I said, coach the game. I know you're a referee, but stop trying to be a referee and coach. Coach the game, Bernard. Coach the game. I love you and I try to help you. I'm never gonna try to hurt nobody. But I want you to coach. You have a good group of guys. But it was too much misrepresentation out there. Your kids are looking at you when you're out there on the field. And all that performing that y'all did over calls was unnecessary. But one of the main calls they was fussing about was the controversial play.
Go ahead. Just start over one of the controversial plays.
One of the controversial plays that caused the argument was the tackle. Punch Train claimed that we're gonna talk about Fred. Fred. Now, we're not going to dwell into why he was overweight. He overweight, he had to play, and he's the athlete. And they used him to the best advantage by putting him on defensive tackle. As soon as the receiver went up, Fred broke with him and stayed with him man to man.
Legal play?
Legal play. That's the
Okay.
player we just
Okay, yes,
described.
right. I wanted to make
The tackle
sure.
to tackle. And he made the intercept. Punch Train coaches erupted 15 minutes. Now, let's get to why they erupted, because my thing is, before the game, the referee should have took Pontchartrain head coach, McHugh head coach, pre-game. Say, you control your sideline, you control your sideline, Pontchartrain. If anything happens on the sideline, I'm gonna give you a sideline warning the first time. Next time, I'm gonna start throwing flags.
Let me ask you this. Did McHugh get dealt a bad hand in that game? Having to play at Pontchartrain? Having to go against the elements with not having stands? Like, it felt like
The
McHugh
game-
felt like they got a bad rap in that game.
No matter
game
where
was
the
stopped.
game was played, they should have played the game as it was, but it should have been in the stadium. So I think it would have been more control of a controlled setting if it was in the stadium. That was an oversight, and we're not gonna go there.
Okay, let's get on to number one.
You ready to go to number one?
Let's go to number one.
And we can still talk about some of that stuff.
Yeah, all that goes together. 1 and 2 goes together. You know who number one is. Formerly number 2,
Number one,
the Pontchartrain Patriots. Coach Ray and the gang.
Patriot pride.
Patriot Pride.
Patriot pride.
What do you know about this team and this coaching staff?
First of all, they have a good coaching staff. They have a good feeder system.
Right.
Everybody know what happened in 2016. That's the champions from the sophomore with Chucky had
Yes.
as a 9 and 10-year-old
They
team.
with the Christian brothers.
Oh, the Christian brothers.
My dude Sanchez 2.5. That's my guy. Fast guy. He can run. He
He
fast.
must be new. Right?
He just wasn't a big name. He been there, but he just wasn't getting the balls. You had the Christian brothers there, so you had so much talent at Pontchartrain that Sanchez was just under the rug. He was the guy that ran track. You remember the fast track guy?
Right.
That's Sanchez 2.5.
Oh yeah, you gotta
he
put
can
him
go.
in the spot to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
plays.
yeah. He can go.
He remind me of you.
He really reminds me of myself. He really
You know,
does.
you was a track star playing football.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. So what do you have on this Pontchartrain team with the way they seen the game against the number 2 McHugh Eagles?
I saw athletes against athletes. I saw a bunch of athletes on the Pontchartrain team. Now you can have all the athletes in the world, but if you don't have a coach to go with it, you don't have nothing.
How can that bunch of athletes beat a team 6-0 without their best player playing running back? That's just a question I have. You got all the athletes and you beat this team 6-0 with their best player playing in a tackle box.
Now that 6-0,
And they didn't get the ball back and they finished, they stopped the game.
they didn't get the ball back, but they should have got the ball when it went out the end zone.
Right. See, all controversy.
Yeah, that's why I call this a controversial.
And I talked to Ray.
Uh-huh.
I talked to Ray, and Ray exact words to me. I'm not gonna go into detail what we talked about.
Right,
Ray
right.
said, "Coach, I take the win.
You take the win.
He'll take the win."
And anybody will take the win if you're gonna get a W, but I don't like the way the win went. Because to me, it was still 0-0.
They have.
And
I
needed-
believe they're gonna see each other again.
Oh yeah. I think they are too. I think if we did a mock
The
playoff bracket,
yes, the mock playoff bracket we did, and they had them playing again
playing again.
in the championship.
Want to reveal what the computer said about the mock bracket? Want to tell everybody?
Let's do the computer mock brackets.
We did a computer mock bracket yesterday in our production meeting. Because me and Courtney, we had a production meeting.
Yes, sir.
We wanted everything to be right for this controversial league. We didn't want no controversy with us, because we don't have none. But we took the top 4 teams from the East, top 4 teams from the West. And the top 4 teams from the East were
Number 1 was Pontchartrain.
Pontchartrain,
Number 2 was McHugh.
McHugh,
Number 3 was Sampson.
Mhm.
And number 4 was Willie Hall.
our top 4.
Right. Playoff teams.
Right. They're in the top 5.
Right.
The
4 of
East.
them in the top
So
5.
what's that saying about the East?
That's saying the East is very strong.
Very strong.
Very strong.
Much stronger than the West. And what we had in the West was number 1.
Was Norman at 1.
Right.
Was number 2 was Lion Center.
Correct.
Number 3 was Berman.
Right.
And number 4 was Herrera.
Right.
And
Who's missing from the top 5?
Who was missing from the top 5, the 2-time champion.
You know why, huh? They lost.
They lost. They lost.
Do they have any controversy up there?
Well, I think the coaches, Rodney and Coach David, they took their loss with a bit of pride, I guess you gonna say. They didn't duck and hide. They stood up and took their loss like a man.
So this is a down year for Rodney.
I think
So I was wondering why Rodney wasn't in the top 5 and he was missing. And we had Pontchartrain, McHugh, Sampson, Norman, and Willie Hall, but no Herrera.
Herrera. And that has to be, since we've been doing top
The
5,
two-time
champ. This is the first time Herrera hasn't been in the top 5 in 11 and 12.
Come on,
since we
Rodney.
started the top
What's
5.
happening? And I remember seeing the show at the beginning of the season talking about you got the jury. Where's the jury at now? Where's that? What have you done for me lately? Come on, let's be real now.
And before we get out of here, let's keep running through our playoff simulation.
Let's go back, yeah.
The computer simulation of this upcoming season,
Correct.
playoff run. And they put number 1 Pontchartrain against number 4 Herrera,
Correct.
with Pontchartrain coming out to win.
And that's exactly right.
And on the other side, they had number 1 Norman playing number 4 Willie Hall,
Correct.
with Norman coming out as the winner.
I agree.
Then on the other side, go back to the other side, you have number 2 Lions playing number 3 Samson.
Rematch.
The rematch from the Division 2 championship.
And Samson on something.
And they had Samson coming out the winner.
Correct.
And on the other side, they had a McHugh team and a Burma team facing off.
And McHugh coming out.
And McHugh coming out a winner. And then they got to the semifinals with Pontchartrain playing Samson.
And Samson is the only team I think that could upset Pontchartrain.
I think Samson could be Pontchartrain.
I think they can too.
So we're not going to talk about the
Yeah.
winners. And on the other side,
Norman.
it was Norman and McHugh.
And I think Norman got the capability of upsetting.
I think the Final Four, if it goes like that, it's going to be a great Final Four.
And we're going to leave it at that.
We're gonna leave it at
We're not
that.
even go no further than that.
And there you have it, Coach Mr. Stephen George, 1008 TV. Before I say that, Mr. Stephen George, top 5 innovator, top 5 creator, and we just took it along and made it better. 1008 TVU Sports, and we're in the building, man.
Holla back.
Yeah.
Higher.